Taylor, how we doing?
Doing good, Evan. How are you?
Doing well. Two things for me. One, with Justice, is this expected to kind of be maybe the plan with back to backs as far as just kind of monitoring his usage? And two, with Jonas, any update on his status?
Yeah, for Justice, at least, from now until the All-Star break, with this being the first back-to-back, and part of his just return to play management and in our program there, we thought this was the smart call for him to, be out tonight, but he'll be back, for the next 3 games going into the break. And then once we come back from the break, we'll kind of figure out that plan afterwards. But he's trending in a great direction, feeling healthy, feeling really good. And then for JV, obviously listed as questionable, took a knee to the thigh last night, was a little sore after the game, woke up feeling pretty good. He'll give it a good test, in his pregame, see how he's doing. But, we're hopeful that he plays tonight.
Sean Coleman.
Coach, you doing all right this evening?
I'm doing good, Sean. You?
Doing well. Last night, once again, another game where the Grizzlies had a rebound advantage of 5 or more against their opponents. I believe y'all are 29-13 since the start of last year when that occurs. Just seems like it's really been a progression this year with the overall team rebounding. Jonas making a difference, but overall the guards really contributing as well. That has to be a strength of this team going forward, it seems.
Yeah, it needs to be. I mean, obviously Jonas is an elite, rebounder on both ends of the floor, but it can't just be, his job to secure those defensive rebounds. And I thought last night, better job. I know they don't, the Clippers don't go to the boards a whole lot compared to some other teams that we've faced. But just the fact that I think our guards, even going back and watching the film, made a conscious effort to get in there, help with some rebounds. I thought there were some big plays, in drive situations where Jonas was coming over and helping. As the weak side help, we had guards cracking back on Zubac and Ibaka and allowed us to secure those boards. And that's huge for us. Limiting teams to just one shot on possessions, it helps us to get our offense going, really get that stop cemented so we can get out and run. I thought that was a contributing factor to our success offensively last night too.
Law Murray.
Hey, good evening, Taylor. The Clippers have struggled with takeaways over the last few weeks. They definitely struggled last night, only forced 1 turnover in that first half. And I just wanted to know from your perspective, like how does an offense take advantage of that? Is it an incentive to be more aggressive than usual, or does an offense trust the pass more? Like, what's your take on it?
I mean, for us, whether it's a team that's super active or not, obviously we know tonight's going to be a different story. We know their activity is going to be at an all-time high, so we got to be ready for that. And, when we face teams that really, pick up the physicality, pick up their activity and driving lanes and whatnot, we just got to take what the defense gives us. And, luckily with our unselfish team, they seem to make the right plays. We got to make the right play at the right time. If we're a little late or a little sloppy on the connection, making the right pass, teams are able to, play in passing lanes and turn us over. And, that can be bad for us because when we turn it over, teams really convert at a high rate. So last night, I think was a really good example of, when we saw some seams and we were able to attack. I know they were emphasizing taking away the 3-point line. We were able to get downhill and make, easy plays. Tonight could be a different story if they're trying to take away the paint and take away our driving lanes. We got to be ready to shoot from the 3-point line, but connect on those passes, in good fashion.
Adam Tyke.
Hey, Coach, you've spoken recently about a renewed sense of spirit, energy, and pace around the team. With Justice and Dylan now back in the fold, how much of that renewed energy do you think is just a product of having almost the entire team available?
Yeah, I think our spirit's been good all season long. Not having a full, roster, and as we're continuing to, creep back to a full roster. Obviously, having DB and Justice out there as tone setters for us, defensively and even offensively too, with the pace to play with and the force to play with is huge. But I give our guys a lot of credit. There's moments in the season where your spirit gets tested. If one side of the ball is kind of struggling or whatnot. But I give our guys a lot of credit and being able to just mentally continue to push through. And as we get to a full complement of the roster, it's great to see that spirit continues on. And we definitely felt it last night. And no matter who's in the lineup tonight moving forward, spirit's the thing that always starts with us. And we've been in a pretty good spot.
Parker Fleming.
Hey, Coach. So all season long, we've seen that pretty much anybody in your roster, 1 through 17, can play minutes any given night. And last time we kind of just saw kind of a preview of the tough decisions that are about to come. Is there like a set? Are you getting a better idea of like a set rotation, once you have close to full health strength, or is it going to be more matchup based?
We definitely don't chase matchups. We're mindful of matchups for sure and mindful of, opponent lineups. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to find the best chemistry possible. So I definitely have ideas of what it could look like. Went through this process over the course of the beginning of the season, with Justice being out, Jaren being out, guys out, in and out of the lineup as well. But, right now I'm just focused on one game at a time, just kind of leaning on what we've done recently to see, what pairings, what, 2-man pairings or 5-man pairings are working for us, where our chemistry is, and the ebbs and the flows of the season can always change things. So nothing's set in stone. Just proud of how the guys are competing in their roles right now. We definitely have tough decisions as we're getting more depth and a lot of guys playing well. It's the nature of the job. But guys are always staying ready. And when we have to make changes, we're ready to make them. But we've got confidence that no matter who's out there, we feel like it's going to be the best lineups possible. And hopefully they can kind of cement that chemistry even more and makes it even harder decisions.